You did it. Yum, yum, yum. When spring comes along. Oh, good job. Well, hello friends, welcome. Let's spend the next 24 hours together with my baby. I want to show you what our daily routine looks like. Our mornings typically begin somewhere between 7 and 8:30 a.m. It really does vary quite a bit from day to day, but usually the first thing that I'll do is get Oliver up, out of bed, and then I'll breastfeed him. For the first, I'd say 6 months of our breastfeeding journey, we did a combination of pumped bottles and breastfeeding, but somewhere in the past few months, I really just realized that it was a lot easier for me just to exclusive breastfeed. All the bottles and parts really add up, and as Oliver's gotten better at breastfeeding, just works out better for us. I'm so grateful for this time too. I feel like breastfeeding really does, you just develop such a special bond with your baby. I know I'm so lucky to be in a place where I can even say that. It's crazy, when I started breastfeeding, the lactation consultant I met with just asked what my goals were for breastfeeding, how long I wanted to do it, and I said that I wanted to do it for at least 6 months if I could. A year was kind of my stretch goal. Didn't even think that I would make it, but here we are at almost a year. I'm so proud of myself for sticking with it. It hasn't always been easy. And then after feeding him, we'll usually hang out for a couple of minutes, and then I'll go give him a diaper change and get him dressed for the day. Is it so pretty outside? What kind of fun outfit do you want to wear?
Morning. It's so good to see you.
Mama? So right now it's a little before 8. Oliver did wake up a little bit early this morning. He usually wakes up somewhere between 7 and like 8:30, but he has started waking up a little bit earlier, which honestly has been better for his nap schedule. But right now Christopher is just watching him for a little bit before starting work, and so it's my chance to get a couple of things done. So I'm going to make the bed, really need a shower. I'm just going to take like 30 minutes or so to get ready. And once I'd showered, made the bed, I took over Oliver duty again and made myself some cold brew coffee. It's my favorite thing to have with some oat milk in the morning, and I'll usually just bring that over to the living room, which is kind of my vanity these days. I'll finish getting ready. Oh, can you see in the mirror? Look, it's you. I've always kept things pretty minimal when it comes to makeup, but especially since entering motherhood, I feel like I've really simplified my routine, even from what it used to be. These days it takes just about 5 minutes, although more when I'm constantly interrupted by this little cutie. I'll just do a couple of little things that personally help me feel my best. Catch! Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. It did almost fall there. Then we'll get into some unstructured playtime where I'm just interacting with Oliver. We'll practice our words, and I'll basically just follow him around and play with him in whatever he's interested. So these days his favorite game is catch. Really, I just see this time as a fun, intentional moment for me to connect one-on-one with my baby. Catch! Then after some playtime, took a quick break to trim Oliver's nails, which this is one of those things that's just gotten harder and harder the more mobile he gets. Fortunately, only have to do it once every week or so though. You did it! We're all done. Circle, triangle. But then in terms of the toys that we play with, I've really tried to keep our toy collection pretty minimal, frequently rotating out any toys that he's outgrown, but then also introducing ones that either he's ready to play with or is quickly growing into. So this shape sorter is a newer one he's slowly getting the hang of. He's really into building towers these days, playing with balls, reading. Either with me or just looking at the pictures himself, I've set up the entire lower level of our bookshelf with his books so he can pull them out and play with them. But we do a lot of reading time together too. I'd say on average each day we're reading somewhere between 5 and 20 or more books with him. He really loves them and they literally only take a minute or two to read. So I'd say at least once, but often a couple of times a day, we'll have some story time together with him.
Look like they'll never spread brand new green leaves.
It is for Jasper National Park in the heart of the Rocky Mountains.
The end.
Okay, then I had to take a quick pause because Oliver had a dirty diaper, so I changed that and then got to making some breakfast. Lately, we've been making a lot of eggs with either a bagel or bread. I made some homemade bread the other day, so I popped a slice of that in the toaster and then whipped up a couple of eggs. Then I assembled our avocado toast. I will say our journey to doing solids with Oliver has been quite a slow one. He's always been a big fan of milk. He's been a great eater in that sense, but solids just were not his thing for the longest time. We tried purees so many times. He just was not a fan, so we ended up going the baby-led weaning route. So typically what I'll do for meals is just give him small portions of whatever it is that I'm eating. Trying to avoid any added sugars, of course, or anything that isn't baby safe. We've really found that to work best for us, and I have to say I feel like Oliver has really rounded a corner in the past month where he's really starting to like solid foods, which has been just so encouraging to me. But yeah, if there are any other mamas out there whose babies have just really struggled with solids, just want to say I'm here for you. It gets better.
So yummy. So yummy. Yeah, it's so good, isn't it?
But then after we finish eating, I'll spend a few minutes cleaning Oliver up, which can take some time. Then I'll get him ready for his first nap.
Let's get you up.
How did one little boy make such a big mess, huh?
Yeah, you made such a big mess. Okay, all clean.
So we'll do a little diaper change, prep his room for sleep. We use a sound machine and then also blackout curtains, which we didn't when he was younger, but as he's gotten older, I find they are really helpful in extending his naps. And then I'll put him in his wearable blanket, breastfeed him one more time before putting him down. Then once Oliver's in bed, something that I've started doing is just spending the first 5 minutes of every nap tidying up and resetting my home. Got Oliver down for a nap, spent some time tidying up, and have to say spending a few minutes tidying up, just resetting the space really does just so much to make it so that I can focus and be productive during naps, which is really my work time. But then also too, it makes it so that you just over the course of the day things just don't descend into chaos. So ever since I started doing that, probably like a couple of months ago, I feel like that's been making such a difference. But right now I think I've got probably an hour and a half before Oliver wakes up to get some stuff done. So I'm going to make myself just a little cellular hydration powder, get myself some hydration. I haven't been drinking enough this morning, and then we'll get to work. So I'll get some water. I'm using Parallel's cellular hydration powder. Let's just put in a scoop of that. Looks good. And mix. There we go. The flavor on this is mango lemonade. It's so tasty. While I sip on this, I figured I could give you a little update on how everything is going with. I shared recently that I switched to taking Parallel's conception support pack, which a big thank you to Parallel for sponsoring today's video. She let me grab my pack. If you've been around for a while, you probably already know that I love Parallel. I started using them during my last pregnancy with Oliver. I tried several different prenatal brands and never found one that I really liked that felt like it had everything that I was looking for until I discovered Parallel. All changed. Literally been using them ever since. Haven't looked back, but I just switched to a new pack about a month ago. We're currently hoping for a little 2 under 2 situation. So just switched from the, I think it's called the Mom Support Blend to the Conception Support Pack. This is what it looks like. And so far, I've been loving it. I feel like Parallel just gets it when it comes to pregnant, breastfeeding women, all of that. Love that they're an OBGYN founded company, and I think it's so cool that their prenatals grow with you as you move through the various stages of your pregnancy journey. So in the stage of trying to conceive, here's a little look at what my prenatal contains. I already took mine with breakfast, so not going to take more now, but really love how I've been feeling while taking them. That was something I really appreciated about Parallel during my last pregnancy. Several of the previous prenatals I tried just really upset my stomach. They were hard to take, but Parallel has a no nausea formation, which I found made a huge difference for me. Haven't had any issues with these coming back up. So yeah, highly recommend if you're trying to conceive, pregnant, postpartum. I've taken Parallel during each one of those stages. Really love them. I've literally gotten so many of my friends taking them. They're just one of those brands that I tell everyone about. You can use my code Ashlynne20 for 20% off your first subscription. Beyond their vitamin packs too, they have a ton of other great products that are designed to support women wherever you're at in your pregnancy journey. I've also been taking their fertility and support antioxidant blend. I showed you the cellular hydration powder, and they also have a great symbiotic greens powder. This is a pregnancy and breastfeeding safe greens powder. It's also really good, so check them out. Use my code Ashlynne20, and again, thank you so much to Parallel for partnering with me on today's video. Okay, but then while Oliver sleeps, let's chat what I do during nap time. I work from home part-time, and so nap time is really my chance to get as much computer work done as possible. Exactly what I'm doing changes a ton from day to day. On this day, I was working on some taxes, some editing, but really it's just a time for me to be able to get whatever I need to done distraction-free. That way I can be as present as possible when Oliver is awake. Let me tell you, not all days are like this, but this was actually a really good napping day. Oliver slept for a full 2 hours, and then at the end of that time, I was the one who went in and woke him up. I wanted to make sure that we wouldn't mess with his second nap. Sometimes if he sleeps for more than 2 hours, I find that he can struggle to go down for his second nap.
We lose a sock in here. Oh look, I found a sock.
But then after nap time, we'll usually do some more playing. As we play, a couple of things you may notice. Number one, we really don't do any loud or flashy toys. I've always said that I'd prefer Oliver to make the noise rather than his toys make the noise for him. So I definitely encourage him to, babble, to chat with me, whatever, as we play. But I do try to steer clear from some of the noisier toys, especially the light up flashy ones. I'm not totally against them, but we do try to limit the number that we have. Then also too, something that we have been fairly strict with since he was born is we really haven't done any screen time with him. Currently we're trying to stay screen free with him until at least the age of 2, although we are just playing that by ear. I know it might become harder as he enters toddlerhood, but so far, even though it is for sure hard at times, we're really happy with that decision. And it just means that Oliver and I get a bit of extra playtime during the day, or if I need to get something done, that he has some independent playtime. But then something that we've been loving doing lately, especially as the weather warms up, is going for nice long walks outdoors. Although, quick pause, are you really a parent if you don't stop to take at least a couple pictures of your baby throughout the day? I really do find that going for long walks, will often be out for an hour or more. It's so good for me, for Oliver. We love the exercise, the fresh air. I feel like both of our moods, our temperaments are improved for it. It's just that chance to slow down and to ground ourselves a bit. And on this particular day, we decided to make a bit of an excursion out of it. So we stopped by our local nursery to admire the plants that are all coming in right now. Honestly, this just made me so excited for spring, and even though I didn't have a ton of room in our stroller, I did decide to pick up a couple of tulips that I'm going to be planting out in our garden. But I really do find that little excursions like this are such a fun way to switch things up a bit for the both of us. Then when we got home, I figured it was time for a bit more food. We don't really eat on a schedule, but whenever I'm hungry, I like to make some food for Oliver as well. I find that that tends to work a bit better for me than having a set schedule of like lunchtime at this exact time of day. So I let Oliver snack on some pieces of cheese while I had some, and then also made us some smoothies. And we're big fans of smoothies these days. I love that it's something that both Oliver and I can enjoy. I love how simple they are to make. I can control the ingredients. The one I made on this day was a mixed berry smoothie that I added some banana and kale to.
Okay, let's taste it.
I was talking a bit earlier about our journey to get to where we are now with solids, but I have to say one of the big turning points for us was when Oliver finally learned how to drink from a straw. Really unlocked so much for us, not just smoothies, but pouches and a lot of kind of on-the-go food options, which has just made feeding him so much easier. And afterwards, I did just a bit of washing up with Oliver at my feet. You saw earlier, often I'll just wait on this kind of thing until after he goes down for his nap. Smoothie containers really can't wait. So I just rinsed out everything and then tried unsuccessfully to keep Oliver out of the dishwasher while I put things in it. Then it was time to get ready for nap number 2. So we followed that same routine of doing a diaper change, having some snuggles, breastfeeding. I often like to use this time while I'm breastfeeding as a bit of me time. So I'll use it to catch up on texts, be on social media a bit, or probably what I do most often is I play some of the New York Times puzzle games. So I'll do the mini New York connections. Christopher and I play each day with a couple of friends, so it's fun to do that and then just compare with everyone else. And while I'm trapped, feels like the perfect time to do it. So just got Oliver down for nap number 2, and the nap usually lasts like an hour to an hour and a half. We'll see how long it is. I'm hoping it'll be a bit on the longer side and that all of our play and we went on a super long walk. I'm hoping that'll help to keep him napping, but you know, whatever happens, happens. But I do want to be strategic about how I'm using this time. I was able to get a lot of my computer work done earlier, so right now I want to focus on some of the things that I can't really do when he's awake, either because I am working with chemicals and moving around a lot, just generally some of the things that I need to get done are a little bit baby incompatible. So let's spend a bit of time knocking some of those out. The first thing that I want to do is a little baby proofing. The other day, Oliver learned how to open up a cabinet. He'd been pulling up on furniture and crawling for a little, but he hadn't figured out the whole cabinet opening and closing, but figured it out the other day, so it's time to baby proof. So I've got these magnetic locks, what we're going to be using. I think my plan is only to lock up the cabinets that I really can't have him getting into. This one under the sink, we keep our cleaning supplies in. This one has hosting supplies with a lot of glassware. I might lock up the one back there that has some ceramics and servingware. But I feel like the rest of these, honestly, it's okay if he opens up and explores inside them. Like the ones with our pots and pans, the mixing bowls, we have one of the cabinets has baby stuff in it. That's all fine if he gets into. But obviously the ones where it's a safety concern, we do want to lock up. Let's see how to do this. Oh nice, comes with the video. Okay. So So obviously we're going to have to live with them to see how we like them, but first impressions from install, I loved how easy those are to put in. I think the only thing I need to do now is decide that it came with 2 different little magnets that you can use to unlock the drawers. It's super easy to, you literally just unlock it, but I need to decide where I want to put these. I'm thinking underneath our cabinets is probably a good spot. That way it's really close by to the cabinets that we need to unlock, but obviously out of baby's reach. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna put one right under the sink here and then one on the other side of the kitchen. So like here, barely visible, but I'm hard to get at. That's not bad. And then here. Let's test that. Yeah, that's nice. That's gonna work well. I do have a couple of these left, so if I decide that we need to lock up more cabinets down the road, I always can, but I think for now, just focusing on the ones that are a real safety hazard, that's really what I wanted to do, and I don't mind him getting into the pots and pans and playing with them. And then once I finished with that project, Oliver was still sleeping soundly, so I made the most of my time by getting some laundry on, and then also cleaning our bathroom, which really needed it. Oliver is still sleeping soundly. He's been asleep for about an hour and a half, which is a really good afternoon nap for him. I'm going to let him stay asleep as long as possible though, because we've got friends coming over tonight, and so it's probably going to mean he has a bit of a later bedtime, so the longer he naps, the better. But I've had a really productive time while he was asleep, got everything baby-proofed, was able to pop on some laundry, clean the bathroom that really needed it. It's just really hard to clean the bathroom during the day when I'm dealing with chemicals. I'm in the section of our house that isn't really baby-proofed. It's just hard to do that. Nap time is definitely the time to get that kind of thing done. But like I was saying, we've got friends coming over this evening. I would say probably like half of evenings either we're hosting or going out of the house, so it is something that we do fairly often. So figured I'd vlog on a day where we have people coming over, got stuff going on. Tonight we're having several friends from our church over, going to be doing a big potluck dinner, and I figured for that I would make some brownies. So let's whip those together, and then I'm guessing Oliver will be up probably by the time we finish. As it happened, this ended up just being a great day of sleep for Oliver, so he was still asleep by the time I finished the brownies. So I took a few minutes to clean up, which I'd forgotten to do at the beginning of the nap, but hey, better late than never. But by that point, Oliver was starting to stir, so I woke him up for the evening.
There you go. Oh, there we go.
When we don't have plans for the evening, this is typically when I'll make dinner. I'll just have Oliver roaming around as I cook. Actually, Christopher will often help me too, but since I didn't need to worry about dinner on this day, I just had some snack time with Oliver. Then we just spent some time tidying up, getting things ready for people to come over, with Oliver just tagging along for the ride. Good job. And we had had such a great time having our friends over. I love how much they love Oliver. I feel like it can be really easy after you have a kid just to stop doing a lot of the social things that you may have done before having a child. But getting to hang out with your friends, with your baby is just such a sweet thing as well. And it's harder for sure, but it's so worth the effort. I feel like the more you do it too, it really does get easier. But then usually somewhere between 8 and 9 p.m. on this night, it was around 8:30, I'll put Oliver to bed. Christopher usually helps with this too, but our friends were still over, so he was entertaining them while I put Oliver down. But usually what it looks like is just a final diaper change. Sometimes we'll read stories. All the bedtime stories is really Christopher's thing, so since he wasn't here, we didn't end up doing stories. But I got him in his PJs, put on his sleeping blanket, and then we spent a bit of time cuddling, and then did one last feeding before bed. So it's late, put Oliver down for bed at around 9 p.m. and then our friends hung out until honestly close to 10. We just hung out and watched an episode of The Office to wind down a bit for the evening, but just getting ready for bed now, doing a quick little bit of skincare and then headed off to get some sleep. Typically, Oliver does sleep through the night these days, but he is teething right now. He's working on at least one more, probably 2 teeth. I feel like he always gets his teeth in sets of 2. He's woken up in the middle of the night twice in last week, so we'll see. Of course, I'll try to check in with you if he does. But aside from when he's teething, he is mostly sleeping through the night again, which is so nice. Really makes such a big difference. But that really wraps up our daily routine. So hope that you enjoyed getting a little peek at what our life looks like right now with a 10-month-old. I feel like the reality of having a baby is things are just constantly changing and evolving. I mean, 2 weeks ago, our routine looked different than it does now. I hope that you enjoyed it. Quick reminder before I go to check out Parallel. If you haven't already, use my code Ashlynne20 for 20% off your first subscription. But that is everything I have for you all today. So thank you so much for watching, for being here, and I will see you all again very soon. Good night, friends. Alexa, turn off the bedroom.